this past weekend, we all got to watch as T1 absolutely rinsed the best roster in the world, GenG. But we also got to watch as Faker put on a masterclass against the best player in the world, Chovy. Specifically, as he engaged in an unthinkable low HP mid lane scuffle that, despite going unnoticed by the broadcast, captured audience's attention and instantly went viral. Fans have been debating as to whether the trade was in fact worth, which we'll talk about, but the real question is, did Faker gap Chovy? And if so, how?
Before we hop into today's episode, I want to thank our sponsor, Opera GX, and their brand new feature, Riot Corner. Opera GX is an official sponsor of Worlds 2024, and they're kicking off Worlds with some sweet new in-browser features. In Riot Corner, you'll get access to a schedule of all the matches, a co-streaming hub to jump in and watch, and limited time drops exclusive to GX users at lolesports.com. I can't stress this enough, guys. This is a one-stop shop for absolutely everything you need to keep up with Worlds, baked right into an already awesome gaming browser. So go download Opera GX right now via the link in the description below. Using that link, your browser will download with the official mods, and you'll have access to Riot Corner as soon as you hop in the browser. Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring our exclusive World show, The Last Hit, and supercharging our coverage this year. Now, let's get back into today's video.
Okay, so first things first, the play. If you didn't catch it, there was a moment during Game 2 of T1's hotly anticipated semifinal showdown against GenG where the observer was focused on a fight bottom whilst Faker and Chovy started getting into it in the mid lane. A small secondary cam started to show what was happening, and I think I speak for all of us when I say, Faker, what was that?
Zayas now looking for an opportunity here, but Keen looks like he's out. Canyon now the one moving forward, but Owner is continuing these autos. The Dance of Arrows can get him in range as they get the Bramble Smash to slow Canyon down. Impale's going to be dodged beautifully.
Now, I know it was very fast and a little hard to see, but let's break it down. Thankfully, people pogged over it so hard that the official LoL esports account released a high-res version of it from Faker's POV. Now, the context surrounding this play is very important. You see, Faker's early game hadn't been going very well. A few minutes prior, he TP'd top to try and secure a pick onto the unsuspecting Kai'Sa. Now, she does burn ult and flash, but unfortunately gets away. Now, you can see that Faker starts to TP home, but then cancels it to try and get another wave, which causes him to get collapsed on and die. So by the time he walks back to the mid lane, he's down 15 CS, his TP is down, and Chovy is just shoving the lane down his throat. So in an effort to buy himself some breathing room, Faker goes on Chovy and eats a shit ton of damage. Now, the reasonable thing to do here is just back. The issue is that Faker doesn't have TP, so he knows that if he backs, Chovy will just clear the next wave, and because GenG have 3 grubs and Chovy likely has Demolish, he's going to get plates, and because it's Ahri, roam. And then it's not just Faker's lane that's over, it's potentially someone else's. So with literally what looks like single-digit HP, Faker tries to trade. Faker uses Ahri ult and just a sea of dashes, lashes, and Petrocite procs to not only secure CS, but harass Chovy out of lane, who I might add also doesn't have TP. Now, Faker does burn flash, and Chovy doesn't, but it's arguably worth it, because Faker is sacrificing flash for not only 1, but possibly 2 more waves, a better lane state, and just generally more control over the map. Plus, it was sick. But most importantly, I genuinely think that this shocked Chovy's mental.
페이커 선수에 대한 첫인상은 일단 기본기도 되게 좋았는데 계속 끊임없이 심리전을 거는 게 인상적이었어요.
When you're Chovy, the best player on the planet, and you are sitting against the 4-time on the world's stage, and he Faker reuse you like it's 2013? That is not something you ever financially recover from. T1 did go on to lose that game pretty decisively, but it was the only game they lost. What's more, not only did Faker run over GenG in Game 3, he literally ended the map by fountain diving Chovy and using stasis to secure the kill.
And he knows that this game is over. Chovy just trying to get back to his fountain. Goes Golden alongside Faker. As the Nexus is not going to go down. The perfect execution of T1 in this game, exemplified by their mid laner.
Faker is known and loved for being the humblest GOAT in esports. But that is the closest I've ever seen to him openly BMing someone. Chovy said he was the future, and with that fountain dive, Faker didn't just tell him to prove it, he said, hey, thanks for coming out, maybe next year. Did Chovy get gapped? In this series, when it mattered most, yes, absolutely. But the question isn't if, it's why. Right now, Chovy is getting a ton of flack for GenG's underperformance throughout the knockout stage, which is obviously unwarranted and kind of insane. But what's even crazier is this idea that's somehow emerged since the series that Chovy is like nowhere even close to Faker's level.
Imagine you beat somebody in 10 series in a row, and then you lose one, even if it is the most important one. You win 10, and then you lose the most important one. And then people say, yeah, you just can't compete with that guy. You can't even be in a competition with that guy. It's like, I don't know, bro.
Let's get this straight. Chovy is the best League player on the planet. He might actually be the most mechanically gifted human ever to touch League. So why did he lose to Faker? I think that fans are looking at the wrong side of this. I think that this outplay says more about Faker and Worlds as a whole than it does about Chovy. The beauty and brutality of Worlds is that you can't win it by winning everything else. MSIs, MVPs, more domestic titles than anyone can count. None of it matters the second you enter a Worlds bracket. I've been saying it for months. The second they let T1 out of that LCK qualifier, it was over. They'd already won Worlds. That was our best chance to stop them, to never let them get there in the first place. You think Faker cares what's meta or who won Summer when he's sitting on the world stage engaging in mental warfare with a kid who's being touted as the best player alive? People talk about the Worlds buff that T1 always seems to get, and they should. It's real. Faker has been here countless times, and it's outplays like this one, or the Ruler one from last year, that remind us that achieving League of Legends glory isn't a marathon. It's barely even a race. It's just one concerted sprint. And Faker has made that sprint, successfully or otherwise, more times than anyone can count. It's second nature for him. The pressure, the adrenaline, the inability to commit even one misstep. For those 100 meters, Faker never stumbles. Doesn't matter what happened at MSI, he is locked the in. Now, does this suddenly make him a more mechanically gifted player than Chovy? Of course not, but it's not about that. It's not about knowing every matchup or winning every trade, every team fight, every tournament. It's about winning 12 or so games between the months of September and November. If you can do that, immortality is yours. But as history has shown time and time again, those 12 are the hardest to win, especially if, like Chovy, you've won most, if not all, of the games prior. Worlds is a fickle beast, just like TI or SI or a CS major, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So this weekend, sit back, relax, and watch as the master does it all again. Your bingo card for 2024, Chovy gets Faker reused in the year of our Lord 2024. But it's funny, it happens, and we just go, oh, it's Faker. We take this stuff like it's stride, like, oh, he just breaks the game, he just bends the rules, right?
Whenever I see Chovy and I think about this kind of stuff, all I can see is the Jesse Pinkman, he can't be getting away with it. That is literally Chovy's career. That's what it is.
It's like